Coming to Human Ecology Practical Area or HEPA in Hà Tĩnh Province, visitors comprising of students of all levels and families in urban areas will have a meaningful weekend or summer full of fun. Visitors can enjoy products from agroecological farming model and collect vegetables and fruits to cook in their kitchen. Feel the tasty delicacies blended in medical herbs which are planted in the ecological garden. This is a type of research and practical tourism bearing a deep meaning and raise people's awareness of ecological chain of a seed product.
Greetings from Sang Việt Nam on VTC10 Net Việt. Agroecological tourism is kind of new for many people, but once joining this activity, you'll find it very interesting. So in today's program, we'll see how interesting the agroecological tourism is. And joining us today is two tourists from Cambodia and from USA. Thank you guys for joining us. This is a remote area in Vietnam. I'm wondering, were you warmly welcomed when you put your first step here?
I think initially coming to HEPA, I was welcomed very well by the local people, and I think one of the great strong aspects about HEPA is the kind of transparency and the willingness to share. And I think their philosophy and their principles are based very much around this idea of mutual learning and mutual sharing. So when I came to HEPA, the atmosphere was very much of one, openness and sharing, and the other was very much through experiential learning, which is very important. And I think those three factors create a very welcoming atmosphere, especially for someone who's interested in ecology or the environment, or even just about Vietnamese culture, right?
What about you, Mr. Chung Chen? Were you warmly welcomed once coming here?
Thank you your question, but according to my see that the farmer, they are friendly and welcome for me. I come by the people and to visit their working, and they welcome me and they brief me about what they learn and they obtain from the HEPA support them. Okay. And a simple conversation with the ecological farmer, and how about they have a competition commitment to promote their livelihood through assisted from HEPA.
This area is surrounded by the very green environment. Do you think it is a very ideal environment for you to relax and to learn many things around?
Yes, as you know, on the both side of the road, and it's here is around by the mountain with the forestry. Okay, but I know the around here is a very good environment, and the people here can get the fresh air, and they make their health is going well.
Yeah, so I think that the environment here is very different from, one, the urban area, and two, is where I came from in the United States. So I think, one, it's very different because in the urban area, for example, there's a very evident lack of greenery, right? And I think it's very clear in one, the impacts on the air quality. So here's a very stark difference in air quality, right? In say, for example, Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, or even say in Los Angeles, where I was born and raised, which is nicknamed smog capital of the United States, right? It's very common to see people wearing masks when they go out in the street. You don't see that phenomena here, which is very clear. The other is you're very much connected with nature here, and I think that's very clear. People live with nature, there are trees around, they're protecting the actual source of the river, right? And that's very important. So I think there is a very stark difference between urban areas, the United States, and this environment. I think this is actually, I would venture to say, quite the hidden gem not only in the context of Vietnam, but also in the context of the globe as well.
Driving 500 kilometers to the southwest of Hanoi, visitors will come to a pristine and gorgeous rainforest in Hà Tĩnh province. Coming to Human Ecology Practical Area or HEPA, visitors will be immersed in a quiet and tranquil space in a beautiful nature with the welcoming and hospitable farmers. The still houses resemble the ones of Thai ethnic city. With this design, the house helps visitors refresh and brings them a different ideas and feeling from the prosperous urban areas. Following the mysterious and meandering hillside path, covered with green trees, are the gentle stream, birds singing, flowers blooming in all 4 seasons. One place that people of Hà Tĩnh and from neighboring areas often come to escape from the heat of summer is the beach. Initially, it is just a pristine and spontaneous bathing place. Since 2015, this place has been designed by Giao An Cooperative and become an attractive destination to protect the nature from humans' destruction.
Mặc dù tôi rất là mệt, tại vì từ xa xôi tôi đi là một ngày một đêm, rất là mệt, nhưng mà tôi cảm thấy rất là thú vị và rất là mát mẻ. Rồi đến tối hôm qua vào lúc 5 giờ là tôi đi tắm, gọi là đi tắm một cái suối Giao An á, rất là thích, rất là dễ chịu và rất là sạch.
Here, with the enthusiasm of the staff and young eco-farmers, visitors will have interesting experience and sharing.
Tìm hiểu và có thông tin. Có rất là nhiều loại cây ở trong HEPA. Hiện tại thì cũng có khoảng hơn.
Tourists can visit the ecological vegetable garden, orchard, and do the gardening, harvesting vegetables, and experience a day with farmers on this garden. What's most interesting, the products collected by visitors will serve their own daily meals. This is an exciting experience for many people.
Thiên nhiên rất là đẹp, rất là tuyệt vời và thức ăn sản phẩm của từ rừng nó rất là ngon, rất là thú vị, thì nó chỉ là một phần nhỏ thôi. Còn rừng là một cái gì đó rất là lớn lao, và khi mà mình đến đây thì mình lại cảm thấy nó có một cái gì đó trong lòng mình, nó còn to lớn hơn là chuyện là mình đi du lịch và ăn được cái gì ngon, tắm được một cái bãi suối mát, một cái suối mát.
Daniel, this is a chance for you to relax and enjoy many activities with the farmers, the very young farmers in this area. So tell me more about the experience that you got from those activities.
Yeah, so I think the experiential ecological or what you would call, ecological tourism that we experience through harvesting our own vegetables, visiting the pens where the pigs and chickens are raised, and seeing the direct line from the garden, from the pen, from the chicken coop into the kitchen and onto our plates is very important. I think as people, especially from someone coming from the urban area, right, it's very important because I think one thing that's very key when we see urbanization, and we see this that's happened in the United States and it's happening very quickly in America, is when you have a removal of humans from the environment, we also change the core values of humans, right? And we go from basically people who understand that nature has limits and we need to protect nature and the environment in our consumption patterns to people who are so disconnected that we have this unrealistic expectation, right? In the United States, we have this unrealistic expectation, for example, that I should be able to eat beef all year round or tomatoes all year round, and we don't really think about the impact on the environment. So this is very important for people in the urban environment to see and to experience, to remember that actually humans are still within the confines of the environment, right? No matter how big our skyscrapers, how nice, say for example, Ho Chi Minh City or Hanoi develops, it still is being raised by the rural areas. Without the rural areas, without the clean and the intact environment, right, these urban areas couldn't survive. And I think we need, as consumers, to realize that there cannot be a disconnect any further, that urban centers must also likewise support the rural areas. It's not a one-way street where rural areas are only supporting the urban areas, right? Mm-hmm.
You came from Cambodia, and as far as I know, something is similar between Vietnam and Cambodia. Do you find it interesting to learn and to prepare your own meal with the very agroecological products?
Agriculture product that the community they grow and they with their new technical and regarding to use the natural fertilizer, and they reuse the chemical fertilizer, and those things that can help people, make people have a healthy and decrease the disease.
And what experience when you remember the most once coming here so far?
I'm very interested 2 points. One, agroforestry, and the second, agroecological farming. Today is I'm very interested, on eco farm, But I very interesting, and maybe I bring this experience to consult with other NGO, and because in Cambodia there are many NGO that they work on agriculture, but not agriculture eco farmer, not like EPA do, but there are many two NGO that work on ecotourism only, but EPA in the both sides. One, ecotourism, and the second, eco farming. Improve the both, can absorb the money from outside to visit, and they can collect their forest product to sell outside from keep their family and keep their children attend the school. This is very interesting for me.
Coming to this area, you can relax and learn about the agroecological farming method of the farmers here. What do you think about that?
So coming to HEPA, a lot of the farmers did talk a lot about agroecological farming. I think that's one of the key tenets of what this demonstration site really represents. It's one, this idea of conservation doesn't have to go backwards or counteract with this idea of production, right? So it's actually very much the embodiment of this really important concept called conservation production, right? So you're at the same time conserving the environment while producing and making, meeting the needs of human society, right? And I think that's one of the biggest worries of policymakers right now is how do you ensure food security, while protecting the environment. And I think a lot of misconception is sustainable farming can't meet the needs of the growing population. I think HEPA is actually a key example of actually it can, right? And the forest is a very much a rich source of abundance in terms of clean air and water, but more importantly, when we're talking about food security and what we're talking about when we eat here at HEPA, the forest is actually an abundance of food, right? And I think that's what's really important.
Once again, thank you Daniel and Chung Chen for joining us. And that's all we have for today's program. For comment and feedback, don't hesitate to write to us at shangvietnam@netvietTV.net. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.